Now let's discuss that further with Patrick Welch, geopolitical analyst from Boston. Mr. Welch, welcome to the program. I hope you're well. What really stood out in Trump's speech was his threat to use military force. How does this threat of military action over the Panama Canal contradict his image as an anti-war president?
Well, his image as an anti-war president is completely fake, right? He has tried to construct this over a period of years, and the actual fact is the opposite of that. Look at his inauguration with this defiling of, hundreds and hundreds of military personnel. Like he knows that he is commander-in-chief of what he thinks is the greatest military in the history of the world. Now, when it comes to Panama, what they want to do is combat the Chinese. They want to say that they, meaning the U.S. ruling class, has absolute control of this connection between Pacific and Atlantic, and they will decide who comes and goes. And this is a constant revision of the idea, too late to the party. It's already happening. China has established its port in Chunquet in Portugal and in Peru, and it will build its railways and highways over to Brazil, completely getting rid of the Panama Canal as an impediment. And this is kind of a last-ditch effort to try to outrun the facts on the ground.
True. Do you think that Congress is likely to support his military force if he were to do that, to get the Panama Canal?
I really can't say. I mean, that is a huge obstacle in the American political sphere. Americans are completely set apart from the reality of what is going on in the world. If you look at the American media, there's no mention of what's going on in the streets of Panama right now. And so American politicians respond to their donors, they respond to their potential voters, and they can easily, just as they have done for voting, hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, to Israel for the genocide of the people of Gaza, they could think that this is the next prize and they might go for it. But I think what it's important to hold on to is that the rest of the world is seeing this as more of the same. Here is a new guy. It's a new inauguration. It's a new, regime. And yet here we go. Right from his original speech, he's threatening military force to take ownership of another country. There you go.
That's
Nothing
right.
changes.
That's right. Trump always says China, China, China all the time. What does this Trump's continued focus on the matter of China signal about his approach to U.S.-China relations in his second term?
Well, I think the Panama thing is very central. If we look at what is happening on the continents, plural, this is China has found a way to cut the delivery of goods and services to South America by 10 days by, using the port of Chunquet and then the rest of the Belt and Road Initiative to build connections over to Brazil and the Atlantic coast. If you can't counter that, then you lose. And that's what the Americans and their kind of high stakes investors refuse to admit. Like, this is not, you cannot win that by military force. It is a global, communal resource response to what you're trying to do. And there is no changing the reality on the ground. Everything else is just show.
All right. Regarding Israel, as you mentioned in your first answer, do you foresee him facilitating Israel's annexation efforts of the West Bank more easily than the previous administration, like Joe Biden's?
Well, I stick to my my ongoing litmus test that every current administration is the worst, because it's like, who is the worst president ever elected? The current one, because they are the front man for the agenda of imperialism. And if we have a ceasefire in Gaza, that's all well and good, but we have what Israel is doing in the West Bank, what Israel has been doing in Lebanon. That's not going to change. It will not change. And I do not think that he will be better than Biden in terms of producing or securing these goals. If he could talk to Netanyahu, as some sources have said, that he whispered and told him, look, this is enough. We have to stop this for now. You have to take that in stride. This is an extremely important military pomp and circumstance parade that is going to be over in 24 hours. And then we have the same president who looks different in a suit, right? So you have the same agenda moving forward and the same proponents of certain sub-agendas within that whole menu, and they will continue. And that isn't going to change under Trump. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you so much for your insight. That was Daniel Patrick Welch, geopolitical analyst, joining us from Boston.